So it looks like we've got a good crowd tonight, and so for the sake of time, let's get started. I wonder if, well, I wish I could like speak to, like, hear what you guys were thinking, on the call or whatnot. I know we do have the box where you can ask questions, but I wonder how many of you actually get George Ruiz's emails in the morning. And the reason why I asked that is because this Monday's email was fabulous. And so I did the whole webinar based around George's 90-day plan of action. I put plan O action because that's exactly what it is. It's like your daily plan O action, which means the biggest part of it is the action that you take on it. And it just is such a great newsletter. And if you're not registered for that yet, or your team is not registered for that yet, you need to go on to how to get going and register for that. And also, I think you can register, like, if the leader has the email, then we can email that to you for you to sign on to that. So anyways, we're going to get started on our 90-day action plan, because guess what's coming up? Guess what is exactly 90 days from now, or about 13 weeks? It is Celebration. And this is probably the best event that I've ever been to in my life. And the reason why I say that is it changed my life. 4 days, well, let me see here, 5 years ago, I signed up to get started with Isagenix, and I was really excited about learning more and how I could take it to the next level. And the celebration was 4 days later in Las Vegas, coincidentally. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, I just spent all this money on a kit. What, you want me to spend more money and go on vacation? And one of the leaders who was there at the time, she was a 2-star Golden Circle. She was where I'm at now. And she said to me, yes. She's like, I don't care how much money you just spent. You have to go to this event. And I'm like, well, why? And she said, because if you want to make money, you need to be trained and you need to go. And she's like, and if you do go, bring people with you. So I was like, okay, this lady is serious, right? And I'm just the kind of person that's like, hey, look, if I want what you have, I'm going to do what you do. And I wanted to be where she was at financially. So I did it. I left right exactly 4 days later, and I took my 2 sisters and my sponsor with me, and we all went down there to go get trained. It was the best 3 days of my life. So that's why I put, did you get the memo, that this is only 90 days away? And I got to tell you, for a brand new person to go to that, I was so fired up. I couldn't wait for the next event because I wanted to walk across that stage being that much further in my business. And so that's why you're going to go to this. And here's the dates. Okay, so I want you to pull out a calendar or pull out your phone and write these dates down. Okay, Celebration this year is August 3rd through the 6th. It's in Las Vegas, Nevada. You can register by going to isagenixcelebration.com. And I want you to register because, I just finished a bikini contest. I should have put a picture up here for you. But the first thing I did was register for the event. I mean, I knew I wanted to do it, but what better way to, like, hold me to the fire, man, so that I would do what I said I was going to do, but already pre-register for the event. So you'll want to go in and register for this, okay? And just know that these next 90 days, I'm going to give you all the action steps this next half hour of what you need to do to prepare to be walking across that stage recognized. And that's really what's so exciting about it. It's not about the recognition, it's about the journey. It's about what you put into it over these last couple months, and that's what we're going to go into now. So we want to build fast by working in short bursts, okay? So the fastest way to build our business is by chunks of 90 days or 13 weeks, all right? And here is the outline for the next 90-day action plan. First of all, I wanted to talk about this too because I think this is a great picture. Here you have Lynn Hagedorn and Jim Coover, and he's presenting her with an award, and it says stand and be recognized. And you'll see this on the isagenixcelebration.com website. But that's the point about it. Lynn, I'm sure she's excited about the recognition, the trophy, but she's more excited about what she did the previous 90 days, okay, that got her there. So I want you to start like new. So it doesn't matter how long you've been in Isagenix, if you haven't reached your goal yet, or if you have and you want to take it to the next level, or if you're brand new, right now, today, Monday, April 29th, 2013, we are going to start like we're new. And so if I was a brand new person starting today, okay, I would need some tools. It would be like if you went to, a builder and said, I want to learn to do exactly what you do. But this builder isn't just a regular builder. He builds skyscrapers. Okay, and you go in and you say, I just want to learn from you. I just want to do everything thing you're going to do, right? You know, I'm teachable, I'm coachable. And you know that it's going to be, you know, there's going to be some challenges, but you're signed up for it. And the first thing he pulled you aside is he said, you know, well, before you can build a skyscraper, we need to start like new. So I need you to go to this, you know, go to the tool store or whatever, and I want you to just get like a hammer and a screwdriver and a sander and, you know, some nails, and, you know, and you start out like with what seems like tinker tools, but in reality you end up learning the basics to build yourself a huge skyscraper. So that's what we're doing here. We're going to start like new with the basic tools, and I'm so excited about this launch party kit that you guys see up here. And I put on there what the kit includes. It includes a DVD, an Isagenix product catalog, 5 pillars of health brochures, 5 solutions to transform your lives brochures, a Prosper magazine, an enrollment pad with 50 sheets on it. Okay, so you can enroll 50 people with that one pad. A free product training sheet pad with 50 count as well, and you're going to pass those out to your people. And then a how to set up your launch party sheet, and it's so incredibly easy. Okay, now in Isagenix you can get a lot of things for free, or you can make an investment and you can start planning your future. Okay, I love all of our free tools. You are so fortunate. Okay, there's other companies that would never give you what Isagenix gives you, but it's time to make an investment. Okay, we're just going to do it for 90 days. So spend $29, okay, and get yourself some new tinker tools, okay? And so if you've never done an in-home presentation, that's fine. You can still purchase the launch party kit to teach you to do that. If you don't want to do an in-home presentation, that's fine. I still want you to buy the launch party kit. If for $29, it gives you everything you would normally spend about $50 to $60 on, okay? So I want you to grab that kit and start going through it and start educating yourself, because we're starting like new. So as we do that, we're going to start studying as well. I want you to think seriously, how many of you guys have been to isagenixbusiness.com and printed out the documents? Be honest with yourself. How many of you guys have went there and you looked at it and you thought, oh, I'll do it later? Okay, not anymore, because literally Wednesday, May 1st, that starts our 90 days. So I'm giving you 2 extra days to study and prepare before Wednesday comes, and you need to be in action. Okay, so this isagenixbusiness.com, you guys, you're literally going to go in and you're going to print yourself out the first 3 documents. And then after that, I want you to review them. And then after that, I want you to go visit 5kinfiveweeks.com until you're so sure about why we are building the next 90 days fast and using these tools, okay? Because you will be once you go in there and look at them. So we're going to do some studying, go figure. And here's what it looks like. Okay, so it says start your Isagenix business now. The first form you're going to print out is the how to get your products paid for sheet. How many of you guys think that's probably pretty valuable to know? Yes, it is. Okay, then you're going to download and print the how to get your products paid for sheet. There's 2 of them, and you're going to fill it out. Okay, so one of them's for launch parties, and then one of them is just for general knowledge. I want you to print both of them out. I really do. You're going to need it because you're going to have your launch party kit, and then you're going to need it for people who you're visiting with outside of a in-home presentation. And then after you complete that, right, it says, after you complete those both, it says click here. Okay, and it says the next steps to building your business. So then you're going to go into the next steps to build your business, and you have like, what, 48 hours to do this, okay, before you literally launch your rocket these next 90 days before celebration. So isn't this cool? I mean, here's a free tool that's saying, hey, guess what, get educated right now. But you're also going to have on hand the exact things you need to implement what they're talking about. That's what leaders do. They get prepared, okay? So that's the first step. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set your 90-day goal. I know that's kind of silly that I took you through the tools first, but think about it. How do you know how to set your goal in a 90-day increment if you don't know what you're getting yourself into? I'm laughing because I can't tell you how many times I have done this where in my life, not probably, maybe with Isagenix a little bit, but the majority of the time in my life, how many of you guys think of like a little kid, right? And they come up to me like, oh, Mom, I'm going to create a lemonade stand, and I'm going to sell so much lemonade, I'm going to be able to buy a mermaid skirt by the end of the summer. Can you tell that this is a real life story? My little 7-year-old twin girls are like obsessed with having these mermaid skirts that you can actually swim with. And I told them, I said, oh, what are you going to do to earn that? Because these skirts they're not cheap, right? And so I want them to earn that. So she's like, well, we're going to start a lemonade stand. and then we're going to do this. And I'm like, okay. And then, okay, so where do you get the lemonade from? Well, you're going to buy it. Oh, okay. I'm going to buy the lemonade. Okay, how much are you going to charge, right? Do you know the prices of your product? What are you going to charge? How much, here's what our goal is, right? So they know what they want, like just like how you want to be an executive, or you want to be a 5-star golden circle, whatever it is. They know what they want, and then they're like, well, how do I get there? Well, that's why we went through the tools first. Now I want you to set your goal again. Okay, like you have an idea of what you want, but once you've gone through the material, you'll go, okay, I'm going to set it for just 90 days. I know that you want to be a 9-star platinum on stage earning over $100,000 per month, but we're going to start with just the next 90 days. Okay, so as you go through that, you might be setting goals like, for your personal goal will be, if you haven't hit executive yet, that's it. That's it. You guys make it simple for yourself. That's it. That's the only thing you need to focus on. Okay. And then you're going to help your team set their goals. You might even personally go, hey, I could be a 1-star, in the leadership pools if I became an executive and I created one executive on the left and one executive on the right, right? So you're going to set these 90-day goals. Okay, and you're going to be a top sponsor by getting some commitments from your team. See, this is the next part. You've already committed yourself. You set the goal. Okay, now you're going to help your team set their goal. And if you're brand new, go find some people to set some goals with. Okay, become a consultant right now. Like, you have 2 days to become a consultant. Okay, go sponsor one person on the left and one person on the right with the President's Pack. Just go do it. Don't even think about it. Just go do it. Okay. And then you're going to be a top sponsor by getting these commitments. And this is what this looks like by getting commitments. And the person who came up with this was Kathy Cooper. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Kathy Cooper had created a 7-figure income in 3 different companies as a networker. She was just like you and I. And this is what she used to do. She used to say, listen, I just need systems, right? So I need to know that you're committed to me because I'm taking time out of my life and out of my family's lives to spend time with you to make sure that we both meet our goals. So what she would do is, this is in your back office, okay, and it's also on isagenixbusiness.com, but you'll go through there and you'll get this commitment sheet out. And you'll see here that it says on here, right, do you have any obstacles or concerns starting this business? What would those be? Like, you're getting all of the stuff out of the way, okay? And then it goes down and it says, I commit to getting my top 10 names of people interested in the products and business to my sponsor as soon as possible. Check. I commit to reviewing the next steps to building your business section found on isagenixbusiness.com. Check, right? This is so duplicatable. I commit to staying focused and work my business for as long as it takes to achieve my goal. Check. Okay? You're going to do it together. You're going to do that commitment together, and you can come on, right? So that's what we're going to do after we set our 90-day goal and we go out and we get our team to commit to theirs. Then we're going to start this new associate interview. And I'm telling you, this is the most simple thing. I had the luxury, and yes, I say the luxury, okay, of spending a week in Maui with Kathy Cooper one time, building with her. This is what she taught me. This is it. So Kathy, what's the secret to your success? Goals. Getting your team committed. You being committed and getting your team committed. That's it. Okay? And then that's where the action comes in. So this is the biggest part, getting the mental part out of the way of what we've committed to do. So now we just have to track the progress. All right? So we're going to use the rank advancement charts to track the progress of you and your teams. How many of you guys have ever filled out the executive rank advancement chart before? I'm sure all of you guys are nodding your head, or some of you haven't. You don't even know what it is, okay? But we're going to print out these charts, and we're going to hang it where we will see it every day for the next 90 days. And I mean that. I want you to commit to that too. Print these charts out, put them in your office, put them by your phone, put it on your fridge, put it where you can see it, because if you can't see it, you're not going to know what you're supposed to be doing, right? And so we're going to be tracking our success, and we're going to work diligently on filling in the consultant spots, like in there with names and orders. Okay, so here's what that looks like. Here's a crystal executive plan, and it talks about you plus 2, them plus 2, and repeating this 5 times. Here's what you'll get for doing it: $3,050 in just bonuses. We're not even including the residual income here, or anything, okay? We're not even including the PIBs on this. So you want to go in here and you want to take a good, hard look at the possibility, oops, I'm going to go back. Wait, okay, I'm not going back, of what you can do in 90 days from now just by becoming an executive. $3,050, okay? And how we're going to do that is we're going to get these names down, but before we do that, all right, we're going to learn how to share our stories. Okay, if you're brand new in Isagenix, I want you to pull out a pen and a piece of paper if you haven't already, and I want you to bullet point real quickly, write down where you were before Isagenix. Like I was fat, sick, and broke, okay? Write down what happened to you with the products in the business. If you've just been in a short amount of time, maybe you don't have a business story yet, but maybe you do have a product story, right? Maybe you dropped like 7 to 15 pounds in your first 11 days and you've never felt better in your life, or, you know, it really changed you. Write down what that was, okay? Business-wise, let's say you became a consultant. You got your $50 consultant bonus in your product introductories. What if you've already made $500? That is a business story and a very powerful one, okay? So write down what's happened to you so far. Okay, the next bullet point is write down where you see yourself going with Isagenix. Maybe you weren't as impressed with the $500 as somebody else will be, but you're still going to share it because that was the first step. But where you really see yourself going is becoming a crystal executive in the next 90 days and earning $3,000. I'm so excited about this. Do you know anybody who'd be interested in my product or business, right? Do you see where this plays into? You being able to call somebody with confidence and being able to share this. That's the way that this is put together, is for you to feel confident about getting on the phone and sharing with people why you're excited about Isagenix and the opportunity. Now, here's the cool part. Learn other people's stories so you can tell them to your prospects. What if you just signed up yesterday and you're brand new in the company? What got you excited? Think about the stories that maybe your sponsor shared with you. Think about some of the videos that somebody shared with you and go back to that video and go, gosh, you know, who's Jill Burr? Oh, that's right. She's the girl that lost 153 pounds and won $120,000. I could share that story. I could get behind that. That's something I want my people to know. Who's that Jimmy Smith guy, right? Who was a butcher for 40 years and then at 76-year-old got started in Isagenix and now earns over $200,000 per month. That's right. That's Jimmy Smith. I'm going to share that story. Okay? You have stories to share. And that's what this business is about. Stories sell, facts tell. Okay? So let's move on from there. If you don't know how to share a story, there's a webinar on this on how to get going, and it's called The Perfect Story All the Time, and it's by Georgia Weiss. Go look for that. Okay? All right. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to make a list. Right? Making a list. Everyone gets so frustrated by this. But let's really think for a second. Why would this be like a legitimate task? Is it just to have a bunch of names written down on a piece of paper? Or is it to stay organized, right? Okay, so that's really what it's about. And you can make a list anywhere, anytime, at any place. You can have it with you all the time if you set it up somewhere on your computer, or or on even in an email or something. Email yourself your list, okay? So you can pull it up on your smartphone, or have it literally on you in a day planner. Okay, you're going to go through your cell phone if you're brand new, and you're going to start writing down the people who you think would be interested in your product or service, okay, or business. That's what I'm saying. The easiest way is to use the memory jogger. That would be the next step. If you were sitting down with your new associate and they just filled out the new associate commitment form, okay, the next step would be putting in front of them the memory jogger and say, let's get going. All right, and do the same with your partners. Okay, go through your partner's cell phone. The memory jogger looks like this, and it talks about who do you know. How perfect is that? Because think about if you're sitting down with somebody who's never been in this business before, and they're like, gosh, I'm just so excited about this product. I'd like to get my products paid for. Well, the first question out of your mouth should be, awesome, who do you know? Who do you know who's health conscious? Who do you know who wants to make money? Who do you know is a champion? Who do you know who's already in network marketing? There's the gold, right? And start writing them down. Just make a list, okay? And if you've tried other ways in the past so far in your business and you feel like this webinar is really basic, I just want to say this while we're halfway through the webinar. I'm glad you feel that way, because you don't need to be doing anything more than this. And if you haven't followed this to a T yet, consider trying it George's way. Consider trying it the way that Isagenix leaders have always built. consider maybe not doing what you've always done, but doing something a little different. If you haven't done all of these steps, I'm telling you, it's a shoo-in. You will be on stage. You will have that $3,000 in your hand. Just follow the steps, okay? And as that's important that I just said that, because we're going into the daily action plan. We have heard, and I guarantee if you've been on as many webinars as I have, this has been engraved permanently in my soul, okay? Your daily action plan always is connect, present, follow up. Based on the people on your list, connect, present, follow up. Well, you guys are like, well, what does that mean, right? We're going to go into that. How do you connect daily? Okay, you're going to call your list using the scripts in 5kand5weeks.com and how to get going. There's scripts on there, and it literally teaches you how to talk to people, which is it's very fortunate that we have those, because that's what we're trying to do, create a fortune, and we need to know how to talk to people. Okay, connect with people on social media like Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. Go in there, find some of your friends from high school from like 10 years ago and be like, hey, what's up, Bobby? I haven't talked to you in years. How's life going? Right? You know, like get in their face, man. Be like, hey, how you doing? Look up on that chat roll on the side of Facebook where it says somebody's online, and click on it and be like, hey, I haven't talked to you in forever. What's up? Be super interested in them. How's it going? Be a normal person. Don't come out with Isagenix right away. Just start the conversation. That's what we're talking about with connecting people. All right? Connect with people you meet in person or by phone. I literally have stood in grocery lines where I see people who can't pay for their groceries. It kills me. Right? Or they're short, or they're complaining about money. You know, be like, listen, you know what? I can see that this is really frustrating, right? But I feel like I might have something that can help you. What's your best email? I could send you an email. You know? Or what's your phone number? I'd love to talk to you outside of this grocery store. You know? Or hey, you're at the gym and the woman beside you is like, oh my gosh, you know, she's frustrated, she's sweating her butt off, and she's like not getting anywhere. And you have this amazing thing to share with her, and you either do or you don't share it. So that's what we mean by connecting, opening your mouth, right? Call people off the list and share your story. The next thing we're going to do is present daily. All right, so maybe you're going to set up your first presentation with your launch party kit. This excites me. Nothing excites me more than this right now, I'm telling you. If you've been through that launch party kit, you'll know why. All right, set up your first launch party commit and commit to having it happen. Set the date, the time, and get on the phone and start inviting people. It's so simple. Invite them to your home for a presentation. And the home kit is the ideal tool, I'm telling you. I mean, even if you don't do I mean, just go through it, okay? It's absolutely fabulous. For $29, you can spend enough. I mean, I'd buy one for each leader. Or for every consultant you make, you know, tell that consultant that they'll get a free launch party kit. I really would. That's just me, though. I want people to have what I have. Or maybe just, you know, anyways, okay, I'm getting excited. But present daily, okay? So you're going to set the presentation. If you decide to do a presentation 2 weeks from today, that's going to be, you know, Monday, you know, May 9th or 10th or May 12th or something like that. Okay, so just set the time and a date and start inviting people to it. All right, then you're going to send people to links or to your videos on your website. I love that brand new Why Isagenix video. It's almost it is the same video that's in your launch party kit, okay? And it's on your under your ISA videos tab. And it's on ISA movie too, like isamovie.com. Okay, and just when you're done talking to people, you know, after you find out what's going on in their life and everything else, and you find a window to talk about Isagenix, that's the key, finding the window, okay? And then say, hey, well, you know what, I'd love to send you over this video because I think it might have something that could really help. When would you be able to watch it, right? We're setting the appointment, we're presenting. You haven't presented to somebody until they've seen something of Isagenix, all right? Or they've been to a webinar, or they've invited somebody to a presentation, or you've given them a CD like the Michael Klaus CD or the Prosper magazine, all right? Or you decide, you set an appointment for you to come sit down with them one-on-one and you use like a flip chart, okay? Or you know, you get them on the phone with your sponsor to share their story so they can get them excited and then further send them to something else. That's actually a follow-up step. You really want them to watch something first, but a lot of times, and if you're super excited and you want to move fast, just get somebody else on the phone with you. Okay, so we're presenting daily. Then we're following up daily. There we go, the three-way call, the best thing you do ever. I should have put the best thing you ever will do for yourself in your business and for the people that you want to share Isagenix with is to get somebody else on the call with you. You know, and I always say the tip for doing this for me is just basically, you know, sending out 3 different text messages to 3 different leaders that I trust with my people and saying, hey, can you get on the phone with me at this time? I'm doing a follow-up call, right? Use the scripts. If you're not quite sure what to say, you can't get a hold of somebody, use the scripts. All right, and you're going to use tools like your Isagenix videos to further, you know, one of my favorite lines, and you've probably heard me say this in the past, but I'll say, you know, do you feel you have enough information to get started today? And if they say no, then I go, well, what's holding you back? And then, you know, that's part of learning how to answer objections, is to asking the right questions, right? And the cool part is that you're not going to know how to answer objections until you get them. So that's why you do the follow-up. And if you're scared to do a follow-up because of the objections, that's why you need to do the follow-up, so that you can learn how to overcome them and you can learn how to answer them as you go. And so that's why I love 3-way calls, because you'll have a leader on there helping you do that. All right, keep a list on your email system or any other system of the people you have contacted and how you did it, when, where, how, you know, so that you can, it's business, right? You know, those are the steps of business. And always be improving your skills. So I want you to listen to videos and podcasts of other successful Isagenix leaders. And this is super, this is an intelligent thing to do. This is what a smart person does, is they become a copycat of the people they'd like to emulate, okay? And they'd like to have what they have. So that's what you want to do. And you want to learn how to do the presentation, the associate consultant, manager, director, executive presentation, all right? And show it everywhere you go. That is a presentation in itself. And that's a good way to know how to answer objections when somebody says, well, how much money, right? Well, why should I become a consultant, right? You'll know. And if you don't know, ask a leader for help. Okay. The next thing, this is huge. This is where most of you go wrong, is you know the steps, but you don't want to schedule the time. You don't want to manage your time. I get that, okay? I get that, you know, when you get home from wherever, you know, let's say you have a part-time job right now, you come home and you're like, oh, I'm going to call a few people. You go over to your computer and then you get on Facebook because you're going to prospect some people, and then you get lost. And you're like, what did I get on here for, right? You're not managing your time. You know, or, you know, you tell a client, hey, you know, I'll call you back in 5 minutes. I'm busy right now, and you forget to call them back, right? Because you're busy, like you walk in the door and it's like time to do the dishes and make dinner. I totally get it, okay? So you want to manage your time. Get out a calendar and write down your hours of availability for yourself, for your own knowledge. Then you want to stick to your schedule, okay? You want to create a power hour with your team. How many of you guys know what that is? A power hour is where you set a time with each one of your teammates to call them once a week for an hour. You'll sit and you'll talk about where they're at in their business, talk about where they need to go, okay? And then you will literally get them inspired, and you'll start getting on the phone with their people right then and there. Don't wait. Take that time, that power hour. Spend 10 minutes on talking and the rest of the time enrolling, right? So work when you say you're going to work, and listen to the BDP Michael Klaus link that George put on the newsletter if you're not quite sure how to manage your time. Okay, and I mean, it's just, you know, manage your time seems like a basic thing, but it's usually where the majority of us mess up. This is what that looks like, the Michael Klaus link. It gives you like video 1, your game plan, video 2, your game plan, video 3, your game plan, and then talks about sponsoring the CD. You can also find this on everyonestartshere.com. Okay, events. If you haven't been to an Isagenix event, you need to go to one. Okay, if you didn't already register for Celebration or pull up the link or something while we're talking, you need to go do that now. But you and your team need to go to the next event. Whoever you've already got enrolled, get them pumped up about going to like an IC University, or going to your local road show, okay, or going to a weekly meeting even, or just coming to your team party. Let's say you set up a team party every 2 weeks, you do a team party. You know, those kind of things. You can visit isagenixevents.com to see where these are at, but I also copied this on here. I want to take a good look. Okay. Look where your roadshow is. Where's mine? Maybe it's down at the bottom. Oh, there it is. May 17th, Salt Lake City, Utah. Featuring whoever's coming to be announced, okay, you know, but go in there and take a look. I know that Michelle Rogers is coming, and a special guest, okay, so that's the exciting part, is you want to kind of get in there and you want to start looking and finding out, where can I take my team to the next event, okay? All right, then you're going to create a mastermind if you haven't already, but this is important, okay? In your mastermind group or in your power hour, do not criticize one another. Just offer each other positive feedback, okay? And make sure you're straightforward and to the point, though, still, right? You know, like make good use of time, Okay. You want to encourage each other and never put your partners down. This is where accountability comes into place. When you have a mastermind, you become more accountable of your time, what you've put in that week, how many things you've done, how many presentations you've done, how many follow-up calls you've done, those kind of things. Right? You can meet a couple of times a week on the phone, or you can meet in person, but you want to find some people that you can discuss your goals with. If it's not the person that enrolled you, find somebody or enroll somebody, and you start creating that mastermind group now, and be accountable. That's what this is about. These next 90 days, you want to be accountable. I've got this cute little quote here, and it says, you either make yourself accountable or you will be made accountable by your circumstances. It kind of sounds like something a mom would say to a child, right? You either do this or else. But the reality is, wherever you're at in your life right now, the circumstances that you're living with, you're being impressed by them. You're like impressed by the fact that you haven't made enough money yet in Isagenix. You're impressed by the fact that you're busy. You're impressed by the fact that life gets in your way. And I know that because it's happened to me. I'm speaking from experience. Don't be impressed by your circumstances. They do not dictate what even happens tomorrow. They don't. So that's where the accountability comes in, is that you all of a sudden, you're not going to be impressed, and you're going to start focusing in a new area of your life, okay? And by focusing, I mean you're going to be doing income producing activities. So the first step is connect with at least 5 people today, right? Then the second step is you're going to have at least 2 of those 5 in a day looking at some kind of Isagenix tool. Can you imagine if we all did this? Can you imagine what would happen if our businesses, if 5 people in a day and only 2 looked at a tool, and then we followed up with those tools too? Okay, step 3 is follow up or stay in touch until you're supposed to meet in person, like if you've invited them to an event or something. Okay, and so that's what we're going to do. We're going to contact 5 people a day. We're going to make sure at least 2 of those that we actually get a hold of watch something. Okay, view something or come to something, and then we're going to follow up and stay in touch with them. And believe it or not, here I have this picture of these little guys putting these puzzle pieces together. How many of you guys like to put together a puzzle? How many of you guys think it's super frustrating? I guess it depends on how big the puzzle is, right? If it's a 1,000-piece puzzle, how do you think you're going to feel once all of those pieces are put together? You're going to feel pretty dang fabulous. That's how you're going to feel. And that's what I want you to think of each day as a puzzle, as a piece to the puzzle. Each one of these steps is a piece to the puzzle just for the day. Forget about the 90 days. Go for the daily goal right here, right? We set the 90-day goal. We know what's going to happen. We already can visualize ourselves walking across that stage as a crystal executive, okay? And all we're going to focus on is the puzzle pieces in the day. So promise me that you're going to focus on the puzzle pieces during the day, because that's where it's at. That is where the fortune is. Doing these 3 steps right here. If this is all you take away from this, if you don't go visit all that stuff, just do this right here, okay? Here's a sample of your daily schedule. That's what that is. All right. Leaders are readers, or readers are leaders. Either way you put it, it doesn't matter, okay? I want you to start focusing on some of the things that are going to get you doing those daily steps. Because if you've been in Isagenix as long as I have, I promise you probably know what to do. And where you're lacking is the belief in yourself, or the fact that maybe you haven't done it before. You keep being really super nitpicky and critical of yourself. You keep cracking the whip. Stop it. Just start new. Go get some new education. Buy one of these books that's written, that's listed down here. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Read 1 chapter every day for the next 90 days. The Science of Getting Rich. Learn the laws. Learn the laws that govern your life that you don't even realize. Buy Risky is the New Safe by Randy Gage. He's a multi-millionaire through networking, and he developed this fabulous book that's, by the way, not for the faint of heart, okay? But it is fabulous. And it's going to tell you why you need to take action on your business. Or Go Pro by Eric Worre. This is the most practical guide, okay? But one of these, promise me it's the daily steps you're going to do, and this right here. Spend 30 minutes reading a chapter a day on something to get yourself uplifted and ready to go to do those steps, to make those calls, to work with your team, to be that leader. That's what leaders do. They start with themselves first. If you can't get yourself, if you're in a plane crash and the plane's going down, You put that oxygen mask on yourself first. That's what this is. This is the oxygen mask right here. This is how you graduate to the next level of your Isagenix business, is by committing to be a new person every day, by reading something new. So these last steps, you guys, super powerful, okay? Make the investment for you and your team to be educated. That's what we're saying here. All right, let's get real for a second. What if? Okay, I know that you guys have been listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, Adrianne, this sounds so fabulous. But, right, what if I get distracted by my life? What if you get stressed out? What if your spouse loses his job or her job? What if you feel deep down inside you don't know how to do this stuff? You don't know how to lead or duplicate, right? They always say duplicate or die, but you're not quite sure what to do. You have to start with yourself, right? So, but what if that happens? What if you feel that way right now? What if you decide, that you haven't even made your goal so far, and so you don't even start? What if you lose your focus? Okay? And the reason why I'm going through this is because I know you're thinking it. You're a human being, for crying out loud. You're not a machine. And a lot of the stuff we went through feels very mechanical. Okay? So I just want you to take a close look at this guy standing here in the rain above the city, above it all. And he says, the most dangerous risk of all is the risk of spending your life not doing what you want on the bet that you can buy yourself the freedom to do it later. I'm talking about procrastination. I'm talking about all the what ifs on here. And I want you to ask yourself, at what cost do you not take the action? Because you will have all of this, right? You will have all of those same what ifs if you don't protect your focus. This is the biggie. Right? A little focus can change your life, but you have to protect your focus. This is so important. You need to guard your focus with your life, man. It is all of that you have got to get you to the next phase of where you see your life going in the next 90 days even, right? And it has everything to do with Isagenix. It has everything to do with your family and everything to do with your friends and everything to do with all the fun things you always planned on doing by wanting to meet your goals. But if you don't focus, then you don't get to the first 3 steps of isagenixbusiness.com, right? You don't get to be the person who prints out those sheets with their leaders and goes through the commitments. You don't get to do all the fun stuff. Those mechanical things actually can be really fun. So I want you to put on your blinders, okay? If you think of horse racing, right? And they put the blinders on. It's literally so one, they stay focused on the track, and 2, they're stay focused on what you're telling them to do. You need to put your blinders on. Okay? You need to embrace the chaos of what all of this is going to look like. If you just do it for 90 days, I promise the chaos will be worth it. But I want you to be thinking only on the goal. And when your family barges in on your 3-way call and they're like screaming and yelling and your kids are like, Mom, we're hungry. You're going to be like, listen, you. And I literally point your finger at your kid and be like, listen, I am doing this for you. Give mommy 5 minutes, okay? I'm building my $1 million team. All right? Or if you're at work, guys, and you're like, I know there's a reason why I got started in Isagenix. I'm just not sure what it is. Okay, go back to that why. And when you get home at night and you take that hour to get online, to check your emails, to go back and to email a few friends, what you talked to them about on your lunch hour about this fabulous products that you've been using, that's where you get committed and you say, hey, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this anyways. I could be doing so many other things. I could be eating dinner and vegging in front of the TV and hanging out with my wife. But if I don't make this sacrifice right now, my wife is going to kill me because I'm going to stay where we've been at for the last 10 years. So that's why it's so important that you protect your focus with your life, okay? You protect it. You're not going to be impressed by the conditions of what's around you. You're only going to be impressed by what focus gives you on the goal and the task at hand. If you are impressed with that, my friends, you will change your life, and you will do it in 90 days. So here's what I want you to think about. Here's the what ifs I do want you to think about before we end this webinar. All right. I want you to think about becoming a million action. Finding out even. What if you just on the tidbit of that, you say, hey, in 30 days from now, I'm going to know even just what it would take to become a millionaire in action. Hey, in a couple of days from now, I'm going to know what it's going to take to win the Ice of Body Challenge. I'm just going to go look at what it takes for me and my team. Hey, I want to look like Jill Birth. Hey, I want to look like Lisa, right? Hey, I want to stand on stage with Jim and Kathy Coover, and I want to be recognized by a convention. I want you to feel what that would feel like. I'm getting kind of emotional right here because this has happened to me. And you don't know until it happens to you. When you stand in that place, I want you to think of other successful times in your life where you were recognized. I don't care if it was in church and somebody said, hey, great talk. I never heard somebody talk about that like that before. Think about what it feels like to have the recognition because you did the work. Okay? That's where I want your head right now and your focus as you go through these tasks. Please, please do me a favor. Go back through this webinar again, or go back through George's email that he sent out this morning. It is so detailed, and there's all the links are right there. Okay? Because success does not happen overnight. You've got to keep your eye on the prize and don't look back. You want to know how to protect your focus? Forget about yesterday. It's over. Look to the future. Take some time right now after this webinar. If it's, 9:30 on the East Coast, it's almost 10 o'clock at night. I don't care, you guys. Take some time tonight. Because if you know you won't have time to sit down tomorrow and go over your goals, tonight's the night. So that's what I wanted to bring to the table with you guys tonight. I don't like being too mechanical, but I'm telling you, it's the mechanics. It's the mundane. It's the doing it over and over and over again that gets you where you want to go. And we're only going to do it for 90 days. And that's the exciting part, is that in the next 90 days, you will see some success that you haven't seen in the past 90 if you just take the steps. So that's what I have for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for being on this webinar. I want you to invite your team on here and so that they can hear what you're hearing. I want you to every week plan on being on this one meeting a week, okay? That this is a meeting. Don't make any mistake about it. And and look into getting those emails from George every morning. Get those emails together, okay? And just go through them and actually read them. There's so much motivating material. If your team has a Monday morning call like mine does, get on the Monday morning call. You need this. You need to be on these things so that it gives you the fuel to get to the next level. So that's that. I'm done. Okay, Tracy, are you there? Oh, I could hear Tracy for a second. I thought you had something to say.
Great job, great advice. Great webinar.
Oh, thanks. Okay, awesome, perfect. Now, Tracy, you get George's emails, right?
Every day.
So when you read this morning's email, what did you, you're a leader, you're a fabulous leader, you're my leader, I look up to you every day. When you went over that today, I'm sure you thought that was fabulous, but did you think to yourself, because I know you do this, you probably thought, what can I do the next 90 days, huh?
Well, actually what I thought is here's everything you ever need to know about the business is right here in this one message. It covered everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and that, it does. It covers everything. This is the basics of everything. You could listen to this over and over again. You could go read that newsletter over and over again and never stray from it, and you'd be an Isagenix millionaire. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay. Well, we are done for tonight, you guys.